They said free the Palestinians, then celebrate the death of native Indians. How these other races gon' take us serious? They don't. It's silly thinking you can fight oppression with a vote. I'm so woke, I got sleep deprivation. Belly of the beast giving birth to a nation. You know how I feel to have culture and they take it. It'll never be peace, tell them free the reservation. Till it's backwards, they don't know that they exist no more. Ever try reaching out for help and you just get ignored? Pick up vices like drugs, your child fill a void. They get a youth life sentence for a killing, he was just a boy. Niggas poor, what we living for? Life a gamble, it's like 10 or 4. Police hands around your neck, they just hit record. We in war, man, this ain't the norm. But you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know. Mama on the stage crying. She just lost her only son to gang violence. Pops level 4 yard talking through the vents. Have you ever tried to hug your loved ones through a fence? Have you ever been hated just because your skin? Have you ever worked all week and couldn't pay your rent? Life a trip, I'm trying to catch my balance. Every step feel like I'm walking backwards. Credit card, but gotta check the balance. I come from where it's rough, that's why my heart callous. They want you to fall weak, that's a war tactic. Look how we live, what's scary than that? What you know about crossing the Darien Gap? Risk of life to live in hell or bury your kids. Either way we gotta suffer and they just get rich. Life a bitch, why I waste time telling you that? Cause if you ain't a nigga like me, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black.
Have you ever been?
Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know.
On live streams for every.
Yeah. Cold shit.
I ain't come with goons, but I'm well connected. Walk in the room, it's pop, 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 like you got rejected. Let me see if you qualify or not. Spinning up in a tinted truck, riding around your block. Busy man. I get a word, he ain't this shit from top to bottom like a motherfucking ceiling fan. Hopping out the rental van, on my way to LAX. Brothers out in Cali and they killers out of every set. But I ain't crippin' on no blood. One West, all my niggas got it out the mud. Put your face on a t-shirt, Maria. Niggas acting tough in them songs, that's the drugs. I don't need no cases, all my pistols clean. So now I weigh my options, used to use the triple beam. Used to get the wop, mix it with the nicotine. Now I travel state to state and put on for my team.
The fuck wrong with them? Ain't on my level, I should let my dog get them. I see niggas and they feelings all feel them. Keep the Glockin' with me, it was like a ball with it. Be at the end, I gotta stay patient. They hate me, Lord, I gotta stay dangerous. You one of them? Yeah. What's the problem? I'm one West, go to war with everybody. Cut the grass for the snake, fuck the gossip. Front line with them soldiers, that's my posture. Gun drawn, trying to curse an imposter. She get out the pocket, go to war with everybody, yeah. Shit that hate making to the featherweights. Niggas claim they hard, but they sweeter than a dedication. Wait, hold on, think it's time to introduce. I'm a man and a beast and a step and a root. Hold on, and a G and a soldier and a mover. Hold on, and a killer and a prophet and a shooter, nigga. Trying to stay humble, my shit crazy.
Listen, man.
Leader, need the blue stripe, no
That's probably one of my hey man, listen, if y'all can hear me, give me a 1, 2, 3. If y'all can hear me, give me a 1 West. If y'all can hear me, give me a 1 West. If you can hear me, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm still out in Vegas. It is 7:19 a.m. And every time I travel out to the West Coast, it's hard for me to adapt. The phone lines are open. The number is at the bottom. Let me pin the number to the top. Let me see how I'm gonna do Just give me 1 second. The number is down. Hold up. What's the number? 646-828-5777 to call in. Call in or click link to join. So you can call in or you can click this link to join. No, I'm not back east. I'm still out here in California. I mean, I'm about to say California. I'm still out here in Vegas, man. I head back today. I told y'all, listen, I told y'all I got a debate for y'all today. That's what I told y'all. I told y'all I got a debate for y'all today. I was not joking when I said I got a debate for y'all today. And I got a debate today. I just can't tell y'all. Only thing I'll tell y'all is that the debate will be live. It won't be like pre-recorded or nothing like that. The debate will be live. Let me pin this to the top. Pin that to the top. Let me come over here. Pin this to the top. Let me pin this to the top. Come over here. All right. So if you want to call in, if you got a question or comment, the phone line is open. The number to call is 646-828-5777. So I got a debate. I got a debate today. When I say y'all gonna love it, the debate should be at 5 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. West Coast time, 1 p.m. Mountain time. No, wait. 4 p.m. Mountain time, I think, and 3 p.m. Central time. You're going to love it. You're going to love it, man. And what I like about when I do get to travel, every time I travel, I don't never stop trying to work. I don't never stop trying to find something to do. That's the one thing about the internet highways, so to speak. With the internet highways that exist, you know, you're never out of reach from being able to go live, being able to link up with other people, XYZ like that. As far as the debate yesterday, so I had the debate yesterday with the so-called Jewish guy that I believe the guy Jake Shields, I think he said it's gonna come out in like a week or two. Could come out next week. But he said about 2 weeks. So I did give y'all a preview of it. So we went at it for about 2 hours. For about 2 hours. And out of those 2 hours, he probably answered like one question, two questions. His only way of trying to be intelligent was there was one part of the conversation where he was like, because he knows Hebrew, he knows Hebrew, we in the land and XYZ like that. And I said, yeah. And so it's gonna be interesting. So Jake don't usually edit out anything, so hopefully that stays in there. So I do appreciate Jake Shields for bringing me onto his podcast, allowing us to have that conversation. I think that conversation is needed. So yeah, it's either 1 to 2 weeks that is coming out. And that's normal. I don't know why people think that's not normal. Usually, like that Matan Evans one comes now, he pushes his stuff out fast. He pushes his stuff out really fast. Like we filmed that on a Thursday, he had it out that Sunday. And so what Jake was saying, he has a lot of content, you know, because you got to understand, like those type of, so you have different type of content creators. And I'm actually about to try to shift into the type of content creators like O'Shea, for example. O'Shea, I think his name is O'Shea Jackson. Let me make sure I got his name right. Hold on. I like that brother. I actually did a show with him one time. Let me make sure I got his name right. O'Shea. Yeah, O'Shea Duke Jackson. This man's profile picture is funny, man. So I'm gonna start segueing into how he does it, because I actually like how. So let me explain first. So there's two different type of content creators, right? You have content creators like I'm a content creator where I'm live. Pretty much everything I do is go live. Videos that I put out are clips of the lives. That's how I function for the most part. Then you have content creators that record and then put it out. So like O'Shea, and what I mean by record, so O'Shea will have a subject and then he'll break down that way he can show pictures, videos, talk about it, give his opinion. He does content like that. You have other content creators that record the person that they're interviewing first and then put it out later. So that's a normal, so those are normal things that people do. I don't know, when you say live streams are better for the most part, it depends. So I agree in some instances. Like I know, for example, them verses that they started doing, the verses platform where it started with Swiss Beats versus Just Blaze. That's the only verses that I really like. That's the only verses that when I would drive long rides, if I'm driving to Chicago, if I'm driving to Atlanta, if I'm driving somewhere like that, my favorite and the only verses that to me is a real verses is that Just Blaze versus Swiss Beats one. And the reason why I say that is because when Just Blaze and Swiss Beats did it, they just in a room about the size of this hotel about the size of this room I'm in. He got his DJ equipment, he got his DJ equipment, they got the people there, and you got to do it right there. You got to have it, everything right there, and the rawness of it. So I get why, Toke, I get why you say you like the live better, because I like that better. Now, where other lives come in, it can be better. Like you can tweak the audio sometimes if you have issues here, issues there. So it ain't really, it's really just a preference at that point. Like I go live. Like if it was up to me, I just for the most part I go live. We do got a caller on the line. Give me 1 second. Let me share screen before I bring you on. Let's remove you off the stage. Stop. Let's add, share screen. Let's go to Branded Bridge. Let's come over here. Add to stage. All right, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Can you hear me? I can't hear you if you're talking. 443. Let me try it again. Mute. Unmute. I probably should have tested it. 443-983. Are you there? Let me test it myself. Hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure it's not the line itself. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me 1 second. 646-828. Let me call it. I'm just testing the line.
Your conference will begin shortly.
Let me see. Testing 1, 2. Let me make sure. Testing. Testing. No, I can't hear. Hold on, let me check the audio. Where am I hearing it? So I'm actually not hearing myself come through the speaker. It could, I don't know if it's the no, when you say it works, I hear myself, but I'm not hearing the other person. Let me check the sound real fast. Go here, speakers. Let me go to my volume settings. Bear with me 1 second, y'all.
Black, can you hear me, sir?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you. Did y'all hear him when he said, "Can you hear me?"
I can hear you on the video. I can't hear you. I just went on the video and.
Okay, hold on
I can't hear you coming through much.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. Bear with me 1 second. The whole reason why I used my computer was because I figured it would be better with the sound. Let me see if I can go to settings on here. StreamYard, allow camera, allow microphone, camera, microphone. It's not coming through the let me see if I change the sound. Let me see if I change from what I'm using. Hold on. Let me go here. Bear with me one. I appreciate y'all patience. I'm gonna turn it from using my Bluetooth to using this microphone. And then let me see. Can you hear me now, brother? Or no? Through the sound. I wonder if it's because I don't have a mixer, which could be the case, because sometimes this is why you need mixers. So I wonder if that could be the case. I'm gonna see in a second.
Welcome. Your conference will begin shortly.
Yeah, sometimes. Wait, let me see. Testing. No, okay, so
I hear you, sir, coming through.
you hear me coming through the Branded Bridge?
No, sir.
Oh, you do hear me?
No,
Okay.
I can hear you now on my phone.
Okay, all right, bet. Can y'all let me know if y'all can hear me on YouTube? Just give me a 1 if y'all can hear me on YouTube. But go ahead, brother. You had a question or comment?
Like, so if you're saying something, I can't hear you. Now.
Oh, I think I know what it might be. Let me see. It might be sort of it might be something like this. Hold on 1 second. I know why you can hear me, because I called in on the line. Let me see something. All right, you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now, sir.
All right, what's your question or comment?
I was trying to get a quick breakdown, if you could. It's Revelation chapter 20, verse 11 through 15. So I understand that, this is the Most High. This is when we get judged, in the books to open up. One is the book of the works. And
you said Revelation what?
20 and verses 11 through 15.
Okay, Revelation 20 verses 11 through 15. Okay, good.
Okay. So it's just some of the metaphors that I just want help with. So it reads, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life, and the book of dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. Verse 13.
And
the
you understand that?
Which part, sir?
What you just read.
Everything I just read.
11, right?
Okay, so let me see.
When it says,
and I saw
a great white throne, and him that sat on it, whose face the earth and heaven fled away, and there was no place found for them. Do you know what that means?
So is that speaking of the Most High, like saying, like being able to see where his throne is at, like being like
that's
where
the
he has to be judged?
Right. That's the throne. Most High is on the throne. What does it mean when it says his face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was no place found for them?
Is that like the precept that says he turns his face away?
Who's the them?
Us, Israel.
But it don't say earth. It don't say us as Israel. It says earth and heaven. So why are you saying them? You're correct. So why are you saying them? You're correct in saying that. It's us. It's not just us, though, but you're
You're
correct in
correct
saying
in
that,
saying
though.
that though. Don't come. Space, Earth. I assumed it was just because this is our book. That's why I just straight think he's speaking.
Very
about it.
simple. When it's talking about the earth and heaven,
It's talking
it's
about
talking about
not being able.
able.
No one
No
is
one
able
is
to
able to
hide,
hide,
whether you're in
whether
the
you're in a
heavenly
heavenly
state
state
or if
or
you're on the
if you're on
earth.
the earth.
That's what it's
That's
talking
what it's
about.
talking about.
When it's
Okay,
saying
And
they fled
they
away
fled
and
away, and there was no place found
you
for them.
can't
You can't
hide from
hide
the
from
Most
the
High,
Most High,
which is what
which
we
is what we
believe
believe
today. What
today.
we
What we
believe.
believe.
Hold on, what
Hold
he's
on,
saying.
what he's saying, I'm echo.
Hold on one
Hold on
second.
1 second.
don't come.
Do you hear me now? I don't think he hears me. So what I'm gonna try to do is move this over. Wait, but if I move that, then he really ain't gonna hear me. Is there any way you can click the link on the StreamYard and join that way? It'll probably be easy.
Come on, I can do that.
All right, do
Come
that.
on, come.
All right.
All right. All right, real quick.
Shalom. What I'm gonna try to do with them is bring it in that way, because I think there's an echo with the phone lines, and it's because I don't have a mixer. So I think it's the mixer is the problem. So I think because I'm just using my laptop by itself, the phone line isn't as clean because of the not having a mixer that the audio and everything would go through. So I think that's why. All right, so I'm gonna add them to the stage. There we go. All right, can you hear me out?
Count on kinds of.
There we go. So when it says the heaven and the earth fled away, that's just talk about us trying to flee from him, but there's no place found. Nobody's going to be able to hide from the Most High. So in verse 12, when it says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. Who's that for?
That's for Israel, right? Because that's the book
Mhm.
of the laws.
Yes,
And
that's
yellow
correct.
is our work, what we did,
And
right?
right, and because the judgment of the other nations, that's already written. So this is talking about our judgment. Do you understand?
Count on kind.
And it says, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books and according to their works. Do you understand that?
So
That's the latter part of verse 12.
live. We can break it down, sir.
Okay,
Somewhat.
so in Second Esdras, when it says, "For after death shall we live again," in Second Esdras 14, hold on, I'm sorry. In Second Esdras 14, Second Esdras 14, verse 34, when it says, 35 rather, "For after death shall the judgment come, and we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared." The dead is talking about the spiritual dead. So obviously, if we're standing before the throne, we're not actually dead, right?
Come on, kind.
Right. So when it says the dead are those that did not come to life. That's why it's talking about the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in those books. So we're all going to get judged. The dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. The books are open. And the dead are going to get judged based on their works.
Come on,
You
kind.
understand? Verse 13 says, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it. What is the sea? You ever heard of the term the Sea of Rome?
Live.
Sea of Rome, or when you see a sea of people, like when Martin Luther King gave that speech, you saw a sea of people on the water. That's what that means when it says, and the sea gave up the dead. The people are giving up, right? And it says, in death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, meaning the torment and punishment that these people were going into, they're now given up, and they were judged, every man according to their work. So what you're seeing here in the vision is everybody being judged by the Most High based on their works. And then based on their works, that's how they can get, punished, excuse me, the level of their judgment, so to speak, or their punishment will take place according to that. You follow so far? If you don't, just say so, and then I'll explain further.
I completely understand. Wow.
In verse 14 says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Now, the lake of fire is America burning, right?
Okay.
And it says death and hell is cast into it. Is death a person and hell a person?
Lies, huh?
So then this is a vision, right? So what does it mean when it says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire?
So like pretty much like all the everything that we go through unfavorably, like that we deal with in America, it'll go with America. Like all the oppression and everything.
It's a little simpler than that, right? Meaning like when right now in our life, in our everyday life, we go through death and hell, right?
Okay.
So when it says death and hell is cast into the lake of fire, this is when our way of life is now burned and no more. Remember, it's a vision. It's not literal. There's no literal person of death. There's no literal person of hell. So what's being cast into the lake of fire? That life. That way of life of us not knowing if we're going to live to past 25, if we're not going to live past 50, if we're going to get shot today, if we're going to go to jail today, if we're going to get beat up today, if we're going to get unalive, whatever that death and hell is, that gets cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, meaning now there's a verse in Isaiah, 100 years, hold on. There's a verse in Isaiah. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. In Isaiah 65:20, when it says, there shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that has not filled his days. For the child die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. When it says there shall be no infant of days, we won't be dying young. That's the infant of days. That's the death and hell being cast into the lake of fire. That's what that means. That's a metaphor. That's also why it says this is the second death, because we've already, those of us that come into the truth, we're the ones that will reign with Christ because we won't go through this second death. We won't endure this. Those of us that have changed our life, have repented, we won't go through the second death because we've already went through the first death when your name was changed to your name that you have now. When verse 15 says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire, meaning they will suffer that lake of fire torment. When America burns, they will burn right with America. That's what that's talking about.
Okay. Not crazy. Wow. So if I could, so that when you said that the heathens, their fate is already determined, can you give me the precept for that?
No, I didn't say fate. I said their judgments.
Judgments.
Their judgment is what? What is their judgment?
I know that though slavery and the Edomites will be pretty much eradicated.
Not just the Edomites. When you read Isaiah 60, when it talks about the kings, in Revelation, in the very next chapter, in Revelations 21. So in Revelation, when you go right to the next chapter in Revelations 21, when it says, I saw a new heaven and a new earth, who is that new heaven and new earth for?
Israel.
So as those that don't get burned up in the lake of fire, those that don't go through the second death, those that don't go through the first death, when we get into that new heaven and new earth, which is New Jerusalem, the city coming down, you're familiar with that. That's all in Revelations 21. And then when you drop down in that same chapter, it says in Revelations 21:24, when it says, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. That's their judgment. So once Jerusalem is getting established, those other nations, and when it says the nations of them which are saved, in any type of warfare that you go through, you always saving prisoners. So the prisoners aren't getting saved like, thank you for having this mercy on me. They're not getting saved like that. they're getting saved for whatever purpose we have for them.
Right.
So the purpose that we have for them and the light that they gonna walk in is like, come on in, man. You about to build this, you about to do this. That's what they do. That's their judgment. And so when you look at Revelations 21 and 24 through 26, the precept for that is Isaiah 60. That's the Isaiah 60 when it says, the sons of the stranger shall build up thy walls.
Okay.
That's their judgment.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think the way I worded it was wrong because I didn't really mean like they would be saved, but just that they wouldn't be. Well, slave.
Oh, you said fate. I thought you said fate. You didn't say the word saved. I thought you said fate.
I did say fate. No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I did say fate. Yeah. Okay. So they will be. They're one's gonna build the kingdom, but in the end, like everybody, they will be put into their own countries, right? Like they will be put in their own sections and separated. But the Edomites will be destroyed, right? Am I correct with that?
Say it one more time.
The Edomites eventually they'll be just done with. But every other nation, they'll be sent into their own land.
Yeah, every nation. Well, Esau would be the only race that won't because they won't produce children. But every race will go into their own land after they serve out their judgment.
Oh, okay. Okay, Christ. I appreciate it.
All right, no sweat.
No Christ.
Shalom, Lord Christ. All right. Hold on. I got to send a text message real fast. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me get this number. There we go. I just had the damn name. There we go. Copy. Damn it. There we go. All right, sorry about that. I want to play this video. Somebody said, will I do a Cornelius breakdown? Are you still going to do the Cornelius? Yeah, I'll do the Cornelius breakdown. Yep. But I'll probably do it. I was going to save it. Well, obviously, I'm not teaching the Jersey class because I'm here in Vegas. But maybe I'll do it that. Or maybe when I get back Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. Maybe I'll do it then. We got a super chat. Let me see. Is Satan the same as Lucifer or the devil? Break it down. No. Lucifer and Satan are not the same people in the Bible. So I'll show you. So the word Satan, right? Satan and devil, now they can be the same. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's get the Eastward app. Let me come over here. Let me go. Boom, boom. Come back here. Add it to the stage. Boom. Here we have it. So let me make it a little bigger. So I'm going to explain. So when you go to, like, I'm going to show you, like, for example, John 8 and 44. Let's make it bigger. I'll show you how this verse first. So you see here it says, this is Christ speaking to the Sadducees and Pharisees. John 8 and 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth. The person that this is talking about is not talking about Satan or an angel. This goes back to the garden when you go to Genesis 4, when Cain unalived his brother. It can go back to the garden when the serpent was in the garden, which you see here. So the word devil has a connotation. Now, to the person that just joined on the stream, y'all give me a second and I'll bring you on. To the person, I'm sorry. So when you go to the book of Job here, oh, wait, I'm sorry, before we go to the book of Job, when you go to the book of Jude 1, and we're going to go down to verse 9 here. It says, now remember, the first devil that I showed y'all Wait, I don't want to show y'all this one first. The first devil that I showed y'all is talking about man. It's not talking about an angel in heaven. If you go to Revelations 12:9, it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. So now we see the word devil and Satan being used, but this is not talking about the angel in heaven. And because now look, it says, which deceived the whole world and was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. So now it's using the word devil, Satan, and angel, which we would normally believe this is when Satan was fighting in heaven. The problem with that, and this is what you got to do, especially if you come from a Christian background, even an Islam background, as some Israelites, this is the question I always ask them. If you're telling me that Satan fell from heaven from having war with God, and Revelations 12 is talking about a few, Revelations is talking about events that have not happened yet, then you're saying that Satan fought God twice. Just ask them that. Just ask them, how many times did the angel Satan go into heaven to fight God? It can't be more than one time, unless you're telling me Satan got that type of power. And when you start, and you got to say it like that so that common sense can kick into their brain. So this is also talking about man. The great dragon is talking about, when you go to Revelations 13, when it talks about, I saw a beast, and I stood in sand of the sea and saw a beast rise out of the sea. That's the dragon that it's talking about. When you go down to verse 4, it says, and they worshiped that dragon which gave power unto the beast. So that's what you want to make sure you understand. The dragon, the serpent, the angel is all talking about a man, a nation, an army, a military. And this in Revelations is talking about the so-called white man. That's what it's talking about specifically. So in Revelation, hold on one second. Shalom, my Lord Christ. Mm-hmm. 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 I don't really know what's going on. To my understanding, I think his rib is sick. You should find out from him what's going on, because I think she's admitting into the hospital. So I need you to find out what's going on with her, what hospital she's in. Does she need somebody to come and see her? If so, what are the visiting hours? Can we be on a name? Does it have to be a relative? I need you to find out that information from me. And then if she needs somebody to get up there to see her, then we just work out somebody in New York to go up there and see her. All right, no sweat. All right, you have some show with that. So that's the white man. That's why it says that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. So in John 8:44, when Christ is saying that to him, that's how you know even he understood that concept. And here's what you got to understand. The Pharisees, because he's talking to the Pharisees when he says, ye are of your father the devil. He's talking to the Pharisees and telling them that their father is the devil. And who were the Pharisees working for? The Romans. So who is he calling the Romans? The devil. So when we say the white man is the devil, Yahushua was calling the white man the devil too. Now, what's important about this, when you go now, I'll show you where you're talking about the actual angel. So if you go to Jude 1:9, it says, yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses. Now, and durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee. Now, this is Michael and the angel disputing about the body. Now, this is talking about the angel. Why is he called devil to us? Because he's our adversary. He's the one that if you're not worthy of the Most High, he will weed you out. That's his job. That's his mission. And I'll show you. In the book of Job 1, this is the most easiest way to understand the difference. And then I'll show you Lucifer. This is Job 1:6 and 7. It says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth and walking down up in it. And the Lord said, now this is talking about the angel Satan. So now if Satan is kicked out, you got to ask him, was he kicked out in the garden? Was he kicked out before the garden? Was he kicked out after the garden? Is he fighting with him in heaven? Because there's no consistency with Christianity. But here you're reading, Satan is presenting himself before the Most High. The Most High asked him first, where was he coming from? Satan said, going to and fro in the earth, walking up and down in it. That's where he's coming from. In verse 8, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. Verse 9, then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear God for naught? Now this is Satan's job to say, okay, does he fear you for nothing? Hast thou not made a hedge about him, about his house, and about all that he has? I'm going to verse 11 for time's sake. It says, but put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And then the Lord gives Satan a job. He said, behold, all that he has is in thy power, only upon himself put forth not thy hand. So now you see there's a context where when we say the word Satan or devil or serpent, we ain't never call Satan a serpent, Satan or devil, we're talking about man, and we can see when it's talking about an angel. When it comes to Lucifer, I'll be real brief. Isaiah 14 and 12 says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? So now, of course, because it says fallen from heaven, people think that this is talking about up in the heavenly realm. Diddy is an example. If you want to understand the concept of fallen from heaven, Diddy is an example. Was not Diddy in heaven? Yes or no? Diddy was in his heaven. Diddy was in his heaven doing whatever he wanted. And the thing about heaven is your heavenly state. Diddy's heavenly state was absolutely demonic. He beat women, had sex with men and women, watched his women get sex with men, was a drug addict, sniffing red coke, pink coke, yellow coke, blue coke, all type of cocaine. That's what he was doing. But he was in his heaven. And then it says, how art thou fallen? Look at Diddy now. I'm using Diddy as an example. So when I read the scriptures, you can understand. So when it says, let me come back to it. So when it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, you could say, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Diddy, because he was the son. When you watch that documentary, they was calling Diddy like the face of hip hop, like what he was doing. Nobody wanted to go against him. Nobody wanted to stop him. There's one part when he calls himself the son of God, and he says, that's the only comparison you can make with me. That's what Diddy says in the documentary. The only comparison you can make with him is the son of God. That's the same thing Babylon felt. When it's talking about Lucifer, it's talking about Babylon. And so I'm going to just skip a couple of verses. I broke this down before. If y'all need it more deeper, you can ask me. So now this is verse 16. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee and saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? So now Lucifer, who people tell you is an angel, who tell you is Satan, we're going to look at him and saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble? Like we look at Diddy and say, and no, he in jail saying, is this the man that was like, can't stop, won't stop? Is this the man that said, I thought I told you that we won't stop? So the same way we see Diddy fall from heaven is the same way you see in Babylon fall from their heaven. I'm going to show you. So when you go down to verse 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children. Now we see that Lucifer has children for the iniquity of their fathers. Now we know it's not talking about one person, but it's talking about a nation of people. And when you read verse 22, it says, for I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, remnant, and son. So that's talking about Babylon. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this caller up. Let me see what time it is. 40 minutes. All right. So let me bring this caller up. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
This is Zia.
What's going on, brother? You got a question or comment?
Yeah. I would like to look. I would like you to help me look into some. Is there a way we could pull up Luke chapter 39?
You said Luke what?
24 and 39.
Yeah. Hold on one second. You said Luke 24 and 39.
Yes, sir.
I have it in front of me.
All right. Can we? I just got my notes. I ain't got my script on me. I was okay. What does that say?
It says, behold my hands and my feet, that it is myself. Handle me and see me, for a spirit have not flesh and bones, as ye see me.
Okay, so let's start right there. Is this Christ a spirit at this moment, or is he flesh and blood?
He's saying he's not. He's saying, for a spirit have not flesh and bones.
Exactly. Now let's go on to the next. Okay,
Let's
so
go on to what you say. What you say?
okay, so me and you can agree that because that's what I was having issue. I'm like, is this spirit and flesh and bone? Okay, so I agree that's flesh and bone. So
Right.
they never. So can we go to 1 John chapter 4, verse 3 through 4?
It says, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and now already it is. Now already is it in the world. For ye are of God, little children, have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
Correct. So in Luke chapter 24, verse 39, Yahushua came in the flesh. 1 John chapter 4, verse 3 says, whoever says that the Most High does not come in the flesh has the spirit of the Antichrist.
Well, it says, whoever says that Yahushua Mashiach is not come. It says, every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of God. That's what it says.
Right. So every spirit, right? So every spirit,
Mm-hmm.
me, you, whatever, patriarch in the scripture, so I want to
What
go.
does that mean? Do you understand what the verse is saying when it says every spirit that confesseth not? Who's the flesh that it's talking about?
Who is the flesh that it's talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know, Cap. Enlighten me.
No, the flesh is you. So what it's saying is your spirit, if your flesh does not confess that Yahushua Mashiach is in you. I'm sorry, I'm gonna read it first and then say, every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of God. So if you don't carry yourself in spirit as Yahushua Mashiach would, you're not of God. And this is that spirit of Antichrist. Do you know what Antichrist is? Antichrist is just anything that's against Christ. And that's a spirit too.
Yeah, that's the reason why I would disagree with that is because it was specific on exactly what it said. Now we turning it around. The specific
Turning
verse,
what around?
It says the specific verse said, if the spirit does not confess that he came in the flesh. So it's all
Yeah,
spirit.
so how does your spirit confess though?
How does your spirit confess?
Yes.
Simple, by saying that that Yahushua came in the flesh.
But how did your spirit like you gotta try to take the mysticism out of what we're reading. How do you I always use these similar examples. How do you know somebody's a Cowboy fan?
Shoot, probably by the jersey they got on.
And not only that, but how every year they say they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they do, and they never make it.
Right. But they got the spirit of it though, right?
Right.
So they have the spirit of the Cowboys is in their flesh. You know the spirit of the Cowboys is in their flesh by the way they dress, they wear the cowboy memorabilia, by the way they go crazy. They look for them to go in there. Now, would you say Stephen A. Smith is an anti-cowboy?
You know what? I don't know. I ain't watched Stephen A. Smith in a
Oh,
long time.
okay. Okay. So I'm using Stephen A. Smith because I watch sports. I watch some commentary. Stephen A. Smith, every time, every year, when the Cowboys and everybody lose, Stephen A. Smith got the cowboy hat on, and he'd be like, "How about them Cowboys?" And he trashes them because he's anti-cowboy in his flesh. So he makes fun of everybody. Y'all get your hopes up every year. You're not going to the Super Bowl. Look at you losing. Dak can't do this. Tony Romo couldn't do this. Look, y'all lost this game. I knew y'all was going to choke. He's anti-cowboy. Whereas somebody, Michael Irvin, is in the spirit of the cowboy. Both of them have a flesh. The spirit is the vibe, what you put in you. That's the context of 1 John 4 and 3. So now let's reverse it. Yahweh Shah Mashiach, you believe in the Most High, right?
Right.
How do we know you believe? How would we know you believe in the Most High?
By works.
Based on this verse, how would we know you believe in the Most High?
I wouldn't know. I'm just going by what it say that every spirit must confess that he came in the flesh.
So it starts by believing in Yahweh Shah, right?
Right.
That's how we know that you're of God. If you believe. So, like, for example, Old Testament Israelites, they're antichrist too. They're not of God because they don't believe in Yahweh Shah. So
right.
Now
I'm asking Cap, so did Christ come in the flesh?
Yes, Christ came in the flesh, but that, like, what I'm trying, the reason why I'm trying to teach you 1 John 4, because you're joining two scriptures in context that are not the same thing.
Okay.
For example,
I understand that. I understand that.
For example, when the Most High said, "I will pour my spirit upon all flesh," what does that mean?
I don't know, bro. I'm just trying to get to the next one. Like, I just wanted to know, are we supposed to confess that if
you don't? Yeah, you confess. When your flesh confesses, you know your flesh doesn't speak, right?
Right.
Your flesh doesn't speak at all. So this is not about necessarily what you speak, it's how you carry yourself. So if Yahweh Shah comes into you and you serving it, if you're in the spirit of Yahweh Shah and you of the Most High, you're keeping the commandments, right?
Right.
That's now your flesh have joined. So, like, for example, you're familiar with the scripture that says, "For the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin."
Yeah.
Okay, your flesh, even in that instance, your flesh ain't doing nothing. Your flesh is just like arms and skin and bones and stuff like that. But it confesses by, if you put on the spirit of Christ, now you're keeping the commandments. You're waking up your people. You're teaching the truth about the Bible. You letting your light shine. That's you confessing. That's your flesh confession. So it's more than just what you speak out of your mouth. You do speak out of your mouth. You do teach others repentance. You do all those things, but there's also a way that you walk. There's a look that you carry. When we look at you, we don't see a Christian. We don't see a Muslim. We don't see a Buddhist. But you can see a Christian, you can see a Muslim, you can see a Buddhist by not by just what they speak, but by how they carry themselves. So that's what 1 John 4 and 3 is talking about. What Luke was talking about in the book of Luke was him resurrected and just showing his brothers, "Hey, I'm flesh and bone. Look at my body." That's the context of that.
Right.
But we all do have a spirit. When you die, your flesh separates from that spirit. So there can be a point where you are just spirit in death. But when your flesh is alive, your spirit is attached to it. Now, what you give your spirit to, that determines who you are. So your spirit could be either about Mashiach or it could be anti-Mashiach.
All right, cool. Khan, can we read 2 Corinthians chapter 15 and 16?
Yeah, we can, but I don't think none of this you're retaining any of this. 2 Corinthians what?
Chapter 5, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And that
it says, wherefore henceforth know we no man after the flesh, yea, though we have known Christ after the flesh, yet now henceforth know we him no more.
yeah, so that actually goes in direct what First John told us.
I don't know how that goes in with First John.
As John said that we not well. Here, let's go to a more clearer verse. There's one in Galatians 1:6. There's one in Galatians 1:16 as well. Because
You said what?
Galatians 1:16.
Like, what is your ultimate goal in this conversation? Like, what is the point here?
Okay, so John said we must confess that Christ came in the spirit. Paul says that that's not so.
Where does Paul say that that's not so?
That's why I'm trying to go through. I think maybe Galatians 1:16 next.
Yeah, you saying Paul said we're not supposed to have the spirit of Christ?
No, so in Luke chapter 24.
So Galatians 1:16. You're looking at this verse. It says, "To reveal His Son in me, that I might preach Him among the heathen. Immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood." This just destroyed your whole argument.
So actually it destroys his. So he said, I conferred.
It destroys whose argument?
Hold on, I'm going to tell you. Luke 24.
Wait, before you, I just want to recap so my audience can pay attention. You just said that John said you got to have the spirit of Christ. You said Paul said you don't.
No, I'm trying to let me run it back. Let's go slow. I started.
But that is what you just said, though.
Finish. Luke 24:39 shows that they talk with Christ in flesh and blood. First John says, whoever says that Christ doesn't come in the flesh and blood, the spirit that doesn't confess he came in flesh and blood, has a spirit of Antichrist. Paul said he didn't confess with the Christ of flesh and blood. He confessed talk with some other Christ.
Brother, you don't understand the verse. Because Galatians 1:16 is saying,
let's make
just be quiet.
No,
just be quiet. Just be quiet. Brother, stop.
You don't like to listen.
First John, no, you're the one not listening. First John 4:3 says, "And every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of God." What you think this verse means, this is how you know I'm listening. What you think this verse means is that if you don't say that Yahushua was a flesh and blood man, you're not of God. That's what you think this verse means, right?
So Peter and them met him in flesh and blood, but Paul.
Can you just answer my question? Are you saying that this verse says, "And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of God"? You're saying that if you don't say that Christ came in flesh and blood, you're not of God. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, and Paul didn't say that.
But you are saying that, right?
I am saying that, and Paul didn't say
that. Right,
that.
No problem. Paul didn't say what?
Paul didn't say that he met a Jesus in flesh and blood. He met some Jesus.
Right. But this verse is not saying that you have to confess that. Your confession is the works that you do. The confession is not opening your mouth and saying Jesus Christ was a flesh and blood man. But in Galatians 1:16, Paul says, "To reveal his son in me." What does that mean? This is the verse you pulled. What does that mean?
I'm just sticking to the context.
What does that mean, man?
Tell me.
You don't know what that means?
I don't know what it means. I'm a student, brother. I'm just here to learn.
I don't think you are here to learn, because you would have learned it by now. To reveal his son in me is 1 John 4:3. His spirit revealed his son in Paul's flesh, that I might preach him among the heathen. Immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood. When it says immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood, what do you think that means?
What do I think that means?
Yes. Because you don't know the Bible, brother.
I believe how.
You know what you think that means when he says immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood? You think that that's him saying Jesus wasn't in flesh and blood when he spoke to him. Ain't that what you think it means?
Well, he said that in 1 Corinthians 15, 44 through 47 as well.
Okay, brother, I don't know why you jump in verses. I'm asking you, what do you think this means right here?
I'm telling you, he says it even in 1 Corinthians that he.
Then why did you ask for this verse? If you're not going to answer questions in this verse, I don't mind going to any other verse. I went to every verse that you asked for. So when I went to 1 Corinthians 15 and I asked you what's your point, you said Galatians 1:16. That's the only reason we here. Now, when I ask you a question about Galatians 1:16, you're talking to me about 1 Corinthians 15.
Right, because
or 2 Corinthians. But can you answer this question? Who is the immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood? Who is that?
Who is
what
that?
is he talking about? What is he talking about?
That he hasn't conferred with flesh and blood.
Meaning what?
That he didn't talk with a flesh and blood Christ.
That's why I wanted you to sound stupid. He's not talking about, when it says immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood, he's not talking about Yahushua. He's talking about he didn't talk to nobody. Then verse 17 says, neither went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me, but I went into Arabia and returned again unto Damascus. Then after 3 years, I went to Jerusalem to see Peter. He ain't talking about not meeting Christ in flesh and blood or in spirit. The immediately I conferred not is him just saying he didn't talk to nobody. That's what that's talking about. That's the context that it's talking about. But because you're so blinded by your understanding, I would suggest you get in someone's class, brother.
Question? Can I ask a question?
This your last question?
Okay, cool.
Hold on 1 second before you do that. Somebody asks, who are the heathen in Galatians 1:16? The heathen are Israelites in Galatians 1:16. Go ahead. What's your last question?
Okay. So, all right. So let me get this understanding. So Christ came to Peter and the apostles in flesh and blood, but he never came to Paul in flesh and blood. John says,
can we read that he never came to Paul in flesh and blood?
Yeah,
can we read that?
Yeah, it's in a let's go with 2 Corinthians 5, 1 Corinthians. Where can we try 2 Corinthians 12, 2 through 4?
You said what?
2 Corinthians. We can go. Well, let's go to 1 Corinthians first, and then we can go to 2.
Remember, this is your last question, so just be on point. Which scripture are you referring to?
Okay. I don't want to mess up. We go to 1 Corinthians 47.
You said 1 Corinthians what?
I think might be in 44 through 47.
What chapter?
My bad. I'm sorry. 2 Corinthians 12, 2 through 4.
2 Corinthians 12, 2 through 4. It says, I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I cannot tell. God knoweth, how that he was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable. I'm sorry, 2 through 4. My bad. I knew a man in Christ above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. God knoweth. Such a one caught up to the third heaven, and I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I cannot tell. God knoweth, how that he was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable words, which is not unlawful for a man to utter. What is this talking about?
So My thing is, Paul says he went into the third heaven, which no man could utter. I was having a conversation with somebody. So when I asked them,
You're supposed to be showing when Christ met Paul, he wasn't in flesh. That's what you're supposed to be showing.
Acts chapter 9, when he had his vision, he wasn't in flesh.
Did y'all hear me ask him? I said, make sure, I said, this is your last question. Did y'all hear me say, this is your last question? Make sure you got the right scripture so we can go over it. He said, oh, okay. Well, I want 1 Corinthians. Oh, no, wait. I want 2 Corinthians 12, 2 through 4. And he said, I don't want to mess up. And he said it. I be trying sometimes, man. I be trying. I had some super chats I want to get to. Hold up. Is class still on tonight? Yeah, same time. Class is still tonight. I believe Officer Kawagabar will be teaching class tonight. Jermaine said, Revelations 20:3. Why is Satan set free after the 1 year reign? Are those Israelites who died without knowing the truth resurrected at this time? Thanks for sharing the knowledge. Good question. So when you're reading the book of Revelations is not linear. Like people think of Revelations, they think that Revelations is written in the order that, the events that are taking place in Revelations are written in the order that you see, and they're not. Revelations is a vision, so Revelations is all over the place. So that's why you see Yahushua appear in a couple of different spots. So when the way you want to understand it is that when it says Satan was bound up, when Rome fell, when you saw the fall of Rome and they had what's called the Dark Ages, that's when Satan was cast into that bottomless pit. The reigning with Christ for 1,000 years has not taken place. They don't go together. I know because it says 1,000 years, they think that reign with Christ take place during that time, but it does not. All right. The sort of bottomless pit that he was put in, that's Europe. And then after that 1,000 years, when he comes back out, that's when the so-called white man had the Renaissance era, got back in power. And so now we're in that beast portion. So now we're in Revelations 12 and 13, as far as the 7 heads and 10 horns. Those are the 7 European powers and the 10. I think I got it. I think I got my book. This is why it's always good to have your preset book with you. It's always good to have your preset book with you. So when when Satan came out of the caves, when he came up out of that bottomless pit, now when you see that dragon come up, that's when you see the 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads are the 7 powers that came out of Rome, and the 10 horns are the 10 markets, or the 10 smaller powers markets rather, that are joined to the 7 heads. And so I'll tell you what they are. Oh, and look, my book just opened right to it. As soon as I open the book, it opened right to that page. So now the 7 heads are as follows. In Revelations 13, the 7 heads are Portugal, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and England. Those are the 7 heads. And all of these are Edomite nations. The 10 horns, the 10 nations that come out of them, I'll give you the 10. Belgium, which is tied to France. Netherlands, which is tied to Germany. Luxembourg, tied to Germany. Denmark, tied to Germany. Ireland, tied to England. Switzerland, tied to Germany. Australia, tied to England. Austria, Germany, Scotland, England, America, England. Those are the 7 heads and 10 horns. All right. Let me see. I got all the super chats. So I might go. Yep, now I want to go into the topic. Before I get into the topic, just to give you a little bit of Black history, I want to play this for y'all because I think it's fire. This is dope. I'm going to play this for y'all.
Slave in Texas. He eliminated every man.
Wait, hold on. Let's move this. Stop. I want y'all to want y'all to listen to this. You want to talk about Black history? Listen to this.
The deadliest slave in Texas. He eliminated every man who bought him. In the scorching summer of 1851, a peculiar pattern emerged across eastern Texas that would haunt plantation records for decades. 7 slave owners spanning 3 centuries from Harrison to Cherokee died within 18 months under circumstances that defied every medical explanation of the time.
Shout out to that Shaq. Shaq, man, I keep telling you we got to do something together, man. You got to hit me up, man. Appreciate the super chat donation. If y'all have not followed, let me grab this brother's channel. This brother does excellent. He's another cat that I'm trying to mirror. Like that Shaq does. Let me put his channel in here. He does like good commentary, similar like the brother O'Shea Jackson. Let me see. Let me put. How do I put this? How do I share this damn link? Oh, here we go. Share channel. Share channel, copy. If y'all haven't subscribed to this brother's channel, this brother does excellent work. I just put the link in the chat. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. He does excellent content on YouTube. All right. Now I'm gonna bring this back. This now what we watching right here. This one of them slaves that wasn't going for it. I'm gonna bring it back and I'm gonna play it.
Deadliest slave in Texas. He eliminated every man who bought him. In the scorching summer of 1851, a peculiar pattern emerged across eastern Texas that would haunt plantation records for decades. 7 slave owners spanning 3 centuries from Harrison to Cherokee died within 18 months under circumstances that defied every medical explanation of the time. Each had purchased the same man. Each had died within weeks of the transaction. This is Black AF history, the unwhitewashed story of America. These are the stories they don't want you to know. The stories of our ancestors and how they fought back. Yes, we were warriors in Africa. What made you think we couldn't fight for ourselves? I'll link it below. The man who was responsible never raised a weapon, never poisoned a whale, never left a mark that could be traced. Yet he eliminated his owners with a precision that turned him into something the plantation system had never encountered. A slave who could not be owned. Make sure you guys go ahead and like, share, and comment if you like stories like this. This is the story of Samuel, the only enslaved man to move through 7 plantations and leave 7 widows behind. He became known in whispered conversations as the Widowmaker. First appeared in Marshall, Texas during the spring cotton auction of 1850. Though his origins remain deliberately obscured in bills of safety that used 3 different birth dates and 4 different ages. Marshall sat at the intersection of everything that made antebellum Texas profitable and paranoid. The county seat of Harrison County, it served as the last major stop before the Louisiana border.
All right. Somebody just said, Cap, the head crack going up $5. I can't pay the $5 like Martin. Lord be with you, brother. You listen, I'm about to raise it up, man. Y'all don't know what it costs to make this, man. Crybaby. Don't be a crybaby, man. It's just $5. All right. So now let's get into this subject. I want to play this other video to get into this subject. When we talk about the Christian church and they diabolical, I'm actually, and what's crazy is when this live stream is over, I'm actually going to change the price of the head crack after this live stream. I don't know what you expect. I can't, I don't know what you expect me to do, man. I mean, I'm sorry.
A slave in Texas.
Wait, hold on, I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. Remove from studio. Let's add video. And let's check it out. I want y'all to check this out. This is your church. This is the church. Look at the title. Florida pastor busted by content creator Big Bad Wolf, arrested for attempting to sleep with the 16-year-old boy. I want to play this Fox News story. Let me just speed it up. I just want to speed it up a little bit because I don't know if they're going to bother you with the whole time. So let me share it. I just wanted y'all to see this highlight. And this is legit. I'm going to show y'all. Let's put this on the screen. Let's come here. Let's make this big. Let's come here. Add to the stage. Remove. Add to the stage. Let's listen. Let's take a good listen at this good old pastor. Let's get rid of that. Let's come here.
People who know the pastor, they are shocked and quite frankly struggling to believe the criminal charge against him.
That's the pastor y'all looking at right there.
The self-proclaimed man of God goes from the pulpit to a public walk of shame to a courtroom to face serious allegations involving a minor.
Sir, is your full correct name James David Stockton III?
54-year-old James Stockton, a senior pastor at the
54
South Bay
years
Church of
old.
God, is facing a felony charge of arranging a meeting with a minor for lewd purposes. He pled not guilty.
There is no actual picture.
These are the ones that we trust.
Now,
and we should be able to trust them with our kids.
Now, let's listen to it. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me play
Online
this.
citizen group called Codfished. Members chat with adults who believe they're talking with a minor for the purpose of a sexual encounter.
So he very well knew that he was talking to somebody underage.
These are the text exchanges allegedly between Pastor Stockton
Look at him.
and the person pretending
Look,
to
these
be
are
a
the text
16-year-old
exchanges.
boy. In this one, Stockton appears to send a selfie asking what time you get out of school today. Here, Stockton allegedly texted, "I promise to be gentle and make sure you are enjoying it."
The nasty part that no pastor should even be talking about, he got to saying that he wanted to the boys.
On the day Stockton met up with the
Now, this is the church. This is church that we think we supposed to go in and we supposed to
I've been
obey.
on the app. This is on Thanksgiving talking about you want to come eat.
That's what we think. And we think this is man of God. We think this is where we're supposed to go. That's why I said, like Diddy and this pastor are the exact same. Don't they all believe in Jesus? Don't they all believe in God? Don't they all wear crosses? Don't they all do these things? Now let's listen to the audio. Let's listen to the audio.
Him up.
A TSR exclusive. We have the messages as this traveling preacher was on the prowl, tried to meet the boy at a park, but instead,
why didn't you go find someone else?
Police, they were right there waiting on him. All thanks to a content creator known for going undercover and taking alleged predators down.
They literally will prey on kids.
I'm Justin Carter, and this is TSR Investigates. But before we get into it, roommates, for more TSR Investigates, make sure you go ahead and like this video.
Older man have I been with? He said, I could be your first. Just make sure it's good and clean.
You hear what he said? Look, wait.
Good and clean. And the other older man have I been with? He said,
very explicit messages.
How many?
I didn't know that this gay man was going to be talking like this. This diabolical.
And the other older man have I been with? He said, I could be your first. Just make sure it's good and clean.
A pastor saying this.
A pastor.
A pastor that prays is allegedly praying on underage boys, and video of the bishop moved to taunt the dude traffic.
Brother, why are you here trying to meet my brother?
Actually, I was hoping and praying that it was somebody older.
It was a master plan set up by
and that's crazy.
A TSR exclusive
he said,
media. This alleged predator master plan set up.
Brother, actually, I was. Why are you here trying to meet?
Now I want y'all to listen to what he said. He said, "Why are you here trying to meet my brother?" Watch this.
My brother.
Actually, I was hoping and praying that it was somebody older.
It was a.
He said, "I was hoping and praying it was somebody older." He's not saying, like, don't he realize? Let's say if the person was older, this is a pastor that is think that he's going to meet a boy, even if he was hoping it was somebody older, it would still be another man.
Master plan set up by content creator Big Bad Wolf to catch an alleged predator. He and his team, they've been doing this for about 3 years now on social media. This is what he did. He made up a story that he caught his 16-year-old brother attempting to meet up with an older man at an LA area park.
Okay, so the picture that he sent you, did he look?
That he only sent me one picture.
He told you something different.
But I thought, again, I wasn't thinking that he was 16.
on no app like that. You know, that's because again, we all say we're different ages and things like that,
Right.
stuff like that.
I mean, well, you didn't say you were a different age.
No, actually, on my thing it says I'm 55, but I mean, I've been on the app for a few years though.
Oh, okay. So is this the first time you ever met somebody?
No.
It was the Growler app, a gay dating and chat service that caters to bigger men.
And he reached out to me first, but I have myself on there as like a 19-year-old boy. But the picture that I have of myself on there obviously looks younger than 19.
He says after a few messages, they ditched the Growler app.
We moved over to text messaging, and
let me tell you something. I like applaud that brother a little bit for his work, but at the same time, he way better than me. Because I don't know. Listen, when I do lectures on this type of subject, it bothers my mind. I don't know if I could go on no site and pretend to be no little boy and engage in conversations and catch him. But shout out to that brother. And I would pray that y'all leave the church. If I could give a couple verses, I think we did this in scripture breakdown class this past Thursday. In Matthew 23, just want to read a couple of maybe like 2 verses, all in Matthew 23. Let me remove, stop screen, remove, just add this real fast. And then we're going to get up out of here, y'all. Again, I'm out in Cali. I'm up at 8:35. So that means I started this an hour and 21 minutes ago. I mean, I got up at 7:30 to make sure that I met y'all little time zone. Y'all little time. I just thought about Mike when I said y'all little time zone. Hold on, let me come here. Boom. All right, so wait, let me put it on the screen. At the stage. So as we see right here, we have Matthew's the 23rd chapter. Like Matthew's the 23rd chapter is like when Yahushua goes straight at the church. And so when you read a couple of these verses, show y'all where I like to go. It's usually like after verse 23. Matthew 23 and 27, for example. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrite, for ye are like unto whitest sepulchres, and which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men bones and all uncleanness. That's the church. The church. Oh, I keep saying I'm in California. I'm in Vegas. I don't know why I keep saying, maybe because it's a West Coast thing. You know, like, I don't know. But like, that's the church. Like, the church is the most diabolical place that you can go to. And these are the things that we got to start focusing on. I know we be doing a lot of the Jesus is God, Gentile type of things. Those are all good conversations to have, and they're necessary too. But let's not forget how nasty the church is. And while I'm at it, thanks for the brother that reminded me that I was supposed to change the price of this head crack to $25. So the price sound like Marlo. When Marlo said on the wire, price of the brick going up. The price of the head crack just went up. I do apologize, but y'all got to understand that the cost of making the head crack specifically, it costs a lot. Just think about, I got fenugreek seeds, ashwagandha seeds, rosemary seeds, and about 15 different oils, all to make your hair grow. So I want to say shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Don't forget, today, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. West Coast time, I got a fire debate coming. Stay tuned. You're going to listen. You are not going to be disappointed. Trust me. You're going to say, Cap, you're a real one. And other thing I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to talk a lot of trash when I do it. So until next time, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Brakatham, Yahweh Shemal Thum Bashim Yahweh.